Welcome to Wisdom from the Word. This is episode 44 entitled A Firm Foundation. I'm currently at my brother Bruce and sister-in-law Heather's house here in Maryland. We'll be staying here for the evening and then heading toward Surfside Beach, South Carolina for our vacation. I'm glad that I can record an episode of my podcast here. How many of you have heard the children's song, "The wise man built his house upon a rock? The foolish man built his house upon the sand." And then the rains came down, and of course the wise man's house was firm on the rock. And the foolish man's house on the sand went splat or smash. I'm sure you've heard of that before. Well, it comes from a passage in Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 to 27. And they read, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rains descended, and the floods came, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." Foundations matter. A foundation is basically a substructure, a basis upon which something is built or supported or added to. A foundation is very important because a building's integrity and stability are dependent upon it. You think about the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. And the reason it leans is because when they built it many years ago, they put it on unstable soil, sediment. And when they put it down, it shifted, and that's why it leans. We think of foundations. You think of the foundation of the world. Psalm 102:25 says, "Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands." So in the past, God had the foundations of the world. In the future, in Revelation 21:14, it says, "In the wall of that city, New Jerusalem, heaven, had 12 foundations." So there's going to be foundations in the future. But I want to talk today about two spiritual foundations that we can build upon. The first one is mentioned there in Matthew chapter 7, which is the sand. Okay, we're all building on something or someone. The sand could be religion, power, fame, money, success, family relationships. No, those are good things in of themselves, but if they are what our life's foundation is built on, not going to work. Because when the storms comes and the difficulty comes, just like in that passage, the house is going to fall. We need to build our house upon the rock. Well, what is that rock? No, it's actually, who is that rock? Deuteronomy 32:4 says, "He is the rock. His work is perfect. All his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he." 1 Corinthians 10:4 says, "For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ." So that rock is Jesus Christ. How do we get that? Well, think about that song, "On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand." First of all, we have to be saved. If you want to look at a passage there in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11 says, "For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ." We have to ask Jesus Christ to come into our heart and save us. And then our lives are built on that rock, Jesus Christ, that foundation. And it's a firm foundation. 2 Timothy 2:19 says, "Nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure." That word sure means firm. Now, if you're here listening to this podcast today and you are a Christian, you need to say, "Hey, I have that foundation of Jesus Christ, but what am I building upon that foundation?" If you look there in that same passage, 1 Corinthians 3:12 says, "Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest," or made revealed. "For the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try," or test, "every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, He shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So if we do good works for the Lord and in his strength and power, like obeying him, reading his word, praying, witnessing, serving, whatever we do, we have that gold, silver, and precious stones. And when those are tried with fire, they are refined and made greater. But if we just live for ourselves or do things in our own power and for our own glory, that's wood, hay, and stubble. Stubble's like straw. Well, if you light wood, hay, and straw on fire, it's going to go up. Yeah, you're saved, but you're not going to have any rewards. Also, if you're not firmly built on that rock, the storms of life are going to come and yes, you're saved, but you're going to struggle. Think of the verse there in Psalm 61:2, which says, "From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I." We need to cling to that rock. He's our foundation for salvation, but we need him every day of our lives. And if you're a Christian here today, you have an everlasting foundation if it's built on Jesus Christ. Proverbs 10:25 says, "As the whirlwind passeth, so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation." If you're built on that rock of Jesus Christ, you are righteous because of his righteousness being given to you, and you have an everlasting foundation. So I ask you two questions. Number one, have you ever been saved? Have you ever put your soul, your life in Jesus' hands and had that firm foundation for salvation? That's the first thing you need to do. Second question, if you're a Christian here, what are you building upon that foundation? Are they lasting works that are going to be rewarded? Or are you living for self? And then when that storm comes, you're tossed and turned because you're not firmly on the rock, Jesus Christ. I'd like to close this episode by reading the words to a hymn, "How Firm a Foundation." It's an old one, but it's a good one. "How firm a foundation, ye saints of the Lord, is laid for your faith in his excellent word. What more can he say than to you he hath said, to you who for refuge to Jesus have fled? Fear not, I am with thee, oh, be not dismayed, for I am thy God, I will still give thee aid. I'll strengthen thee, help thee, and cause thee to stand, upheld by my righteous, omnipotent hand. When through fiery trials thy pathway shall lie, my grace all sufficient shall be thy supply. The flame shall not hurt thee, I only design thy dross to consume and thy gold to refine. The soul that on Jesus hath leaned for repose, I will not desert to his foes. That soul, though all hell should endeavor to shake, I'll never, no never, no never forsake. That firm foundation of Jesus Christ, how firm it is. God bless you. We'll see you next time.